Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We're going to get started a couple minutes early because there was a discrepancy in the time. Some people thought it started at 5, some started at 6. So we want to be mindful of your time tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. Please let me know if you're having trouble hearing me. I'll be happy to speak louder. So my name is Russ Bradford. I am the councilman for District 13, which is the area we're in right now. The purpose of this meeting is to get feedback from the community about some of the safety issues and some of the problems we've been having along the Pike. Metro PD is here as well to not only listen to that feedback, but to give you updates on what they are working on in the area. Council members Syracuse and Welsh should be here shortly because I invited them because they share portions of Murfreesboro Pike. So our issues are their issues too. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to Sergeant Ware from MNPD to introduce herself and her team and to speak with y'all tonight.
Good evening, and I'm sorry for the masks, but it is the age we live in. I hope everybody's doing okay tonight, and I really appreciate you coming out and being here because it shows that you're interested in your community and invested in your community, and that's what we need. Okay. As you mentioned, I'm Sergeant Jessica Ware. Jessica, if you want to call me. I do have some business cards I can write my number on. My email is jessica.ware@nashville.gov, and my door, email account, and phone are open to you. We're here for you, obviously. I think that a lot of people are frustrated about the crime in the area, right? Is that why everybody's here tonight? Yes. Okay. Well, to give you some statistics, we are actually down in our crime numbers from last year. It doesn't feel like it. I get it, okay? We've seen a recent spike in our crime, probably in the last 6 weeks, 2 months, somewhere in there, which is probably why y'all are starting to be very vocal about what's going on in your community. Again, we're here for you, all right? The crime numbers that we are looking at when I talk about crime being down or whatever, we're looking at what's called Part 1 crimes. Part 1 crimes are your aggravated assaults, your rapes, your homicides, your commercial burglaries, your residential burglaries, motor vehicle thefts, auto burglaries. All of that stuff, even shoplifting, is considered a Part 1 crime and what we actually have to report to the FBI. Has anybody in here heard of crimemapping.com? Yeah? A couple people? If you put your address or your business address in crimemapping.com, you can actually map all the crime in a set radius of your business or your residence, and it'll show you what's going on. And it'll even give you a complaint number. That complaint number is what we use to track reports. And with that complaint number, you can email me and say, hey, I had an aggravated assault happen in my neighborhood, and I want to know more about it. And if I can tell you about it, I will. There are some reports that we can't talk about. Those are usually your juvenile crimes, your domestic violence crimes. Now, I will not be able to tell you who's involved in it, but I can tell you maybe if it's solved or what happened. The other stuff that I want to talk about today is if you take just our robberies, okay? So that's when somebody comes up to you on the street, says, give me what you got, and they take your money, all right? If you look at just our robberies, our victims are predominantly Hispanic, and that's sad, okay? And I hate that that population is being targeted right now. It's being targeted mostly because people culturally believe that those people are going to have money on them, cash. And that's an education thing. We need to talk to our Hispanic neighbors and say, hey, you know, use a bank, don't carry your cash on you. Because if we can teach them and the criminals that isn't something that's going to get them a lot of money, then they're going to stop doing it. That was 61%. 61% of our robberies in this area are for Hispanics, with Hispanic victims. Okay, so talk to your neighbors. Also, we have an immigrant population. It's Nashville, right? That is amazing. That is something we should celebrate, is our immigrant population. Because every one of us are Americans in some way, shape, or form, right? We live here, we work here, and that's fantastic. We need to share with our neighbors. Don't be scared of us. We're the police, we're here to help you. I am not immigration. I do not check your immigration status. I'm here to make sure that as a victim of crime or potential victim, as a citizen in my neighborhood, that you're taken care of, okay? So please share the word. If there's an issue or a concern that you have, let us know. And again, I'll give everybody my cell phone number if you want it, all right? It's 615-943-1656. Now, I do work about 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., so if you call me in the middle of the night, I might not answer. That is not how you report crime. If you need to report crime, please call 911 for emergencies or the 862-8600 number for non-emergency assistance, okay? But if I can help you out, I will. Is there any specific questions for me? Yes, sir?
If I have robbery from my shop and I see it by my eye, which one I got called, 911 or non-emergency?
A robbery, 911.
Okay, I call 911 and she say you have to call non-emergency. Whatever, answer the phone.
Okay. 911 is for life-threatening emergencies. So if somebody was robbed and that was communicated, then correct me if I'm wrong, the other officers in the room, but I would call 911 even myself.
This is what I do. But
right.
she say, no, this is not emergency.
Okay, maybe it was because the suspect left. They take in a lot of consideration as far as what and how our calls get classified. Unfortunately, I don't work for Emergency Communication Center, so I can't answer you officially from their perspective. But like I said, I would probably call 911. With that, yes, sir.
Usually they ask if you got a gun or somebody has a gun. When you say no, they said it's not emergency. But the guy can run and come back and run and come back. How are we going to cut him?
Okay, all right.
I mean,
May I ask, hey, I'm Sergeant James. I work on CET on the day shift. Perhaps you've seen me or some of my guys walking around in the business areas and on Murfreesboro Road and Thompson Lane area. But sometimes there's a difference in definition. There's a difference between like a shoplifting, someone comes into your store, takes merchandise and runs away, or somebody comes up with a gun or a knife and threatens the clerk or the owner and wants money, okay? Or threatens the same way and takes property. If it's a shoplifting and they've left, then usually that's what they'll do. If it's a robbery, then they shouldn't do that. It would be a 911 call, and you have done the right thing by calling 911.
yeah, but it was not robbery more than he harassed one female, and she was Egyptian, and he is not, his probably was mixed, either Mexican or something else. And I keep telling him, get out, and I did the best I can do.
Yes.
The next step is I was going to beat him, but
Yes.
I don't want to make it worse. And the person on the phone, 911, it's like cold blood. That's what you have. Deal with it.
Well, how long ago was this?
That was in March, in the beginning of the corona. It was late March this year.
Okay.
And that was the end of me to call them.
Well, I don't know specifically that incident, but before you leave, you and I will talk, and I will try to find an answer why that happened, okay?
I will appreciate it.
All right? How many people here are business owners? Or a lot of people. Fantastic. You guys do? Okay, great. What we're trying to do is saturate this area with what we call CET, community engagement teams, okay? And what we want to do is connect with the business owners and also the people of the community in the apartment complexes around here and people that are that are in this area, and connect better with them, listen to what they have to say, work with them, because each of you know your businesses, your areas that you work in and you live in better than we do. And we need to connect with you guys so that we can do a better job serving you. Okay? That's what we need to do, is connect better. We need to do a better job at that. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I had a problem with some guys. I kicked him out from May, I think in May. I kicked him out, he's a drug dealer, and he ran the business with a drug dealer, okay?
Right.
At one night, I kicked him out, and the same night he broke my truck. He destroyed my truck.
Your truck.
This was May.
Yes.
Next day, he showing up back again. They're making the report on him, and the same day, but he's not was in there. This is the same day I called. Next day, I called back again the call, and I told him the guy is right there. He destroyed my truck. I had a video camera. I had a witness. I had everything. You can like arrest him. He said no, we don't can arrest them.
Okay. Again, I don't know that specific case.
Okay.
We need to talk, and
Okay.
perhaps I can give you answers.
I called 3 or 4 times. I
Okay.
leave a message for the detective, and he said you called me back. This truck almost like 5,000. I lost it.
Okay. So you do have a detective
I
on the
had the
case.
video. No, he don't. He reached me one time.
Okay,
From men.
but there is one assigned to it. There's a detective that contacted you and assigned to the case.
Just only one time.
All right.
It's supposed to be get the guys arrested.
All
How
right.
you don't arrested from May until now?
When we're done with this meeting, you and I will connect, and I'll find out. You tell if you have the paperwork. We'll
I
find
had the
out.
paperwork. I had the video. All
We'll
the
find
thing I
out
had.
who the detective is, and we'll find out some answers as far as your case goes.
But
Specifically.
sometimes when they call the cops, they don't like. I'm sorry, but they don't like. Okay, don't worry, we got it. How you don't got it? Like leave him alone. Why you need like if he's coming the same day he broke my truck? Why he's coming in my business and shoot me right now? You know, it's like they have to be like like serious. You know, like okay, he's dangerous. You know, you have to arrest them. You know, it's like you're coming in your property, your truck. Your business, your house, is your property. If someone coming and destroy your property, and you send him back again the next day, and he said, hey, I destroyed my truck, I broke your truck, just coming to do what you're trying to do. What does this mean? How are you gonna arrest them?
Okay. Again, I don't know the particulars of your case, but we need to talk, and we'll find answers. Okay? But that's what we're trying to do. That's why we're here. That's why we want to connect with you guys. For you guys, for the business owners, we really need to get information from you folks who will be a contact person in case there's an incident at your business, so that we can communicate and find out information and let you know what's going on, and you can contact us so that we can work better to try to either solve the crime or prevent the crime. Okay? A lot of my guys were out walking around making contacts with businesses and trying to get what they call trespass waivers signed. Okay? They're great. I'm glad to see the shaking heads. If there's somebody in here that owns a business that has not filled out one or was not contacted, please let me know, because I have them here, and I'll explain all that to you at the time, what that is and what it can do to benefit you and benefit us. Okay?
I just wanted to, we had a couple of people show up. I just want to recognize them. We've got District 15 Council Member Jeff Syracuse in the back, and the District 13 Neighborhood Watch Coordinator, Sheila Rigsby. So I just wanted to recognize them. Do y'all have anything y'all want to add right now? We've kind of just started. We got an update from the police. I don't know if y'all have anything y'all want to add or say.
Really, specifically, my part of the district, District 15, that where businesses are in, starts at Spence Lane in Murfreesboro, Pike, and goes down to about past Little 8, I believe that's where Rustin and Giddy Wells, that's where 13 and 16 kind of fit. So that's my area. And I really appreciate everybody being here.
I wanted to suggest something. I'm talking to my friends here about their businesses here in this area, and we find out that their sales is going down after the last few incidents. So that's really impact their businesses. certain them, certain city, certain all such community. So we want to move to this route because if those businesses shut down, that's labor will be on the street, you know, no opportunities, and it's going to be ugly for everyone.
Well, that's,
We want to understand this point of view and help those businesses to survive. By having a safe area, it's going to help them to continue and to provide more services to the community.
that's part of why we've organized this meeting, because part of what I want to do is I want to see this area of town get better and not worse. Because like you said, the issues we're experiencing is impacting the businesses. It's impacting the neighbors who live here. It's impacting just the overall image of the area. And my priority for this term is to do everything I can to stop the bleeding and to try and do something to help this community, to rebuild that sense of neighborhood, that sense of community, that sense of safety. You know, I'm really proud of the fact that there is such a large immigrant population in this district, that there's a lot of immigrant-owned businesses. It gives a great flavor and a great culture to this district. And I want to ensure that it gets better and we fix these issues. So that's why I'm appreciative of MNPD, the mayor's office, for what they're doing. Ms. Tackett, do you want to say a few words?
Before she comes up, can I say something
Yeah,
really quick?
we'll give her a chance to come up here.
And get our thoughts together. So my name is Preston Brennan, and I'm the commander out at the Hermitage Precinct. And I don't know if it was said before I got here, but I want you to know two things. First thing is, I hear you. I hear the businesses saying that I'm done with the violence. I can't hire people. I can't get people to come to work because they're afraid. You're afraid to come to work. I'm tired of the violence. I hear it. We hear it. We wouldn't have representatives from the mayor's office, the police department, and the council here if we didn't hear it. And the second thing I want to tell you is we're dedicated to this community, and it's not just word of mouth, okay? To give you a little bit of backstory, every precinct has a group of officers that we could move around whenever an area had an increase in crime. Whether it's violent crime, a home burglary, shoplifting, cars getting broken into, at my discretion, we could move a group of officers around. And you know what happened? Crime went down. But then crime would go up someplace else, and those officers would move to another area of town. And things would be quiet for a week or so, maybe a month or so, but eventually what happens? It's gonna go back up. What I'm telling you is, the officers that you see, the sergeants, these two sergeants right here, get to know them. When they say follow up with me afterwards, they're gonna follow up with you, because instead of moving officers around, starting in August, we started to change the philosophy of those units. So instead of moving them around, we're looking at what areas of our town, of my community, have the most violent crime, and what can we do to impact that? And there's two areas that stood out. Napier and Sudicum, just down the road, in this area. So what I'm telling you is, those units, those officers that would move around, are gonna be here. They're not moving. They're not going anywhere. Get to know them, and the whole purpose of them being here is to form a relationship. That's all I ask of them, is to be in the community and form a relationship. Because with relationship, you're gonna get trust, and with trust, you're gonna get conversation. With conversation, you're gonna tell me the social issues that you need, whether it's displaced citizens and homeless, whether it's specific individuals that are drug dealing or coming into your stores and committing shopliftings time and time again, damaging your truck, whatever.
Okay. Sorry. Why is it, sorry, my language is not very good, but when we called the cops for I had some people in the car, he had a drug dealer, he had a gun in his car, I called the cop, some of the cops, I know some people, they do his job, but some who called the cop, they shown up, said, okay, we kick him away. Why you don't search his car? He had a gun, I saw the gun, I had a video. He had a gun, he had a drug dealer, he had everything in his car, and he's in the front of you. Why don't I arrest them?
Let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Do you know that, can you tell me right now that officer's name?
No.
Because you don't know him, do you?
No, I told you, not all of them, okay?
Right.
But when you stop on like traffic sign or like bad, the light is broken, you're gonna go down in the car, you're gonna search your car because you have the business, you have the money, they search your car and you do it when they're in your car. But when we called the cop and he had the light in the front of you right now, he handled the the dealer in the face of the car.
Yep.
And he knows. Okay, he's a nice guy. When he's coming, they kick him away or they arrest them. But I had some people, I know his face, but I don't know his name.
And the whole reason I asked you
They
about his
come in,
name,
they don't say, we kick him away. What do you mean you kick him away?
the whole reason I asked
You
for his
don't solve
name,
the problem, you know?
the whole reason I asked what his name was or her name is because I want you to know your officer. I want you to be able to come up, not to just some cop or some officer. I want you to be able to come up and call him by name and say, Brad, walk me through this. This is what happened. Is this right or wrong? Because sometimes we're human. Sometimes we don't do a good job. Sometimes we do, but you don't have the information.
No, he told me, no, that's not your business. We take care about this, and you just kick him away.
Then absolutely after this, please come to us because I need more information on that.
Okay.
But the second thing is, your English is perfect. I love your English. And that's one point that we talked about. One of the things I want for this area is to have officers that work in this area represent the ethnic diversity from this area. So if you have people, and that's going to come with trust and it's going to come with relationship, but we're recruiting every day. Nobody knows your problems better than you and your families. What I'm looking for is to diversify in this area. And that was one thing that we had talked about earlier. We want the community to be represented by just the 4, 5, 6 different ethnicities that are just in this one single pocket alone. It's amazing.
Mr. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What can we do about the homeless people under the bridge?
Funny you say that,
Yeah.
Ms. Tackett. If you want to come up here, this is Judith Tackett. She is with Metro Social Services Homeless Impact Division. So the homeless population and ways we can work to solve the issue. She'll give you a little update about what are some things that they have done and some proposals or some ideas that they are working on to help with this area. So thank you for bringing up that point. Ms. Tackett, I'll leave it to you.
So, thank you so much for coming out and thank you so much for the question. I'm here also to listen a whole lot, but before I do that, I do want to let you know in big picture what you can't hear. So, okay, is it better now? Okay, and just give me another sign if I get too low again. The Homeless Impact Division, we are a planning and coordination unit within Metro Social Services. We do not have, we're actually working a lot with the community, with nonprofits, mainly to address homelessness and create an effort that is more coordinated so that there's not everybody doing the same thing or everybody just doing one thing, or we're focusing we need to provide meals to people, but meals itself is not going to end homelessness. So where my division comes in, we're really focusing on data collection and doing everything we can to include a housing solution. One of the things I started telling people over and over again, the Band-Aids that we have used in the past, it's just not sticking anymore. You know, when you have the Band-Aid and it always falls off, that's exactly where we are. So over the last 3 months, we have been working very, very hard in this community with a dozen and more nonprofit providers to set up a new fund that is coming into our city because of COVID. It is dedicated to homelessness. It's $10 million that we have never seen in 1 year at this amount. So what we're doing, and actually the dollars will start flowing next week. So we had all this time to coordinate which nonprofit is going to apply for these federal dollars that are administered locally through MDHA, the Metropolitan Development and Housing Agency, to house people. So the goal is to get 400 plus people experiencing homelessness and really focusing on the most vulnerable people, which includes a large population that you see on the streets, into housing over the next 15 to 18 months. And it's a program that nonprofits can utilize these funds that's called rapid rehousing. It really focuses on getting the people from where they are into housing hire case managers to work with them in the housing on incomes, whatever needs to happen to get them towards sustainability. Now, it gets really complex, as you know, around homelessness because of some underlying issues that are complex, mental health issues, and not everybody can get a sustainable job. So we are also working parallel to this, and we is really the community. I can't take credit for it as my division or just Metro. It's the community and what we're coming together with nonprofits, Metro agencies, and also neighbors and partners working together. So what we're looking is to get more housing vouchers that then can work with ongoing subsidies once the dollars, those 10 millions, need to be used within the next 2 years. Once they kind of dry up, we need to have a sustainability plan. So now that we've worked on coordinating getting these dollars spent on housing and also a good chunk on increased street outreach, and we're targeting that starting with the downtown area because most people will at one point come to the downtown area. That's where rescue mission and shelters are. That's where meals are set up. Once libraries open back up, that's where people are going to. But it's gonna focus all across Davidson County with the housing. That's kind of how we're setting it up and getting people just off the street as quickly as possible. Now, everywhere where I went and talked to the communities the last 3 months and talked about this, I will get follow-up emails pretty quickly. So where is this housing? Where is it going? But it takes that long for the money to flow. I mean, it's just, and it's what we need to do. There are a lot of measures that we can take, and it is a money issue. It really is. It's a housing issue. If housing isn't a part of addressing homelessness, and I'm not saying it's housing only, it's housing plus the right services. But if we don't have the dollars to do that and include housing in the conversation, you're gonna see what you're seeing now. Now, you also have seen more people, homelessness has been more visible than it's ever been, and it's across the entire community. The reason is when COVID hit, services shut down. The services that stayed open had to adjust. Places for people to be, like public libraries where they are during the day centers, even waiting rooms, they were just closed. Churches where a lot of people and a lot of churches work with people, they were closed. So people have had no place to go and still don't have many options. Yeah.
Okay, last 2 weeks ago, I found one guy, he sleep in a customer car, which the guy stayed there in the center of the road all day, asking for money, and go smoke crack behind my shop. This is not, he's not mental. He know what he do. And also I found him smoke crack inside the customer car, make mess, smell bad. What can I do with him?
So
I called the police, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the things, if it's and that's where I'm gonna refer at what point do you need to call the police. But there's also a line called the 311 line, the hub. We are answering that as well. So we have, and I'm struggling with this because I have 2 outreach workers, and as you may have heard, Metro is also running a shelter. Both of them also work with shelters, so I'm down on staff on responding. But it's like we're sending out, we're working very closely with every single precinct that we are sending a social worker and an outreach worker out, talk to the people, make sure they're addressed in that system, that we know their names and we have them in the system. We're trying to do that. We're getting them information where to go. We let them know what the warning is and trying to link them to services. It's an engagement process. It's a long process.
Okay.
And if it's a criminal issue, I
I understand, but for how long we can take these people out from our business? How long? And also, no sign under the bridge. We have like almost 15 people sleep under the bridge, make mess everywhere this at the location, and no trespassing. If I call the police with no trespassing from T-Dot, the police can do nothing. We have to have some trespassing sign under this bridge.
Especially, I have an alteration shop next to me.
Sorry,
So
can you speak up a
I have an
little?
alteration shop next to me.
Mhm.
So he's the clean guy, he's the one who helped me to call the police sometime, I don't know, but every morning when I come to the shop, I have to clean down mess from that area, which is all night, the homeless people, they come there to put.
The homeless
stuff
people
there.
make heavy
It's hard,
beat
it's very
from
hard.
our shop.
And I thank for the
Nasty.
police and everybody what they do, so they do a good job there, they're working hard. But for us, we have a business there, but I have been there for 3 years right now. I don't need that area, I live in Bridgeport area. So I opened the business there, and I already signed the business, it's hard for me to close for what's going on right now. But it's kind of stuck because all the customers they come, all the trash, all the beer bottle, everything I have to clean there. And sometimes they come to my shop to bring the necklace or something for sale. So I don't know who is the thief and who is the one. So sometimes when I visit my shop, my store is open. So that's all we need those people to. I know they're homeless, they're good people and bad people. We don't know who's the good and who's bad. So I just thank you for you guys to call us here today so we can talk so how we feel on the business.
I work for A&H Auto Repair for Mr. Atif, and I'm neighbors with her, so I'm constantly helping them. I've actually emailed the mayor back in 2017. The telephone calls, as he said, I called 911. They called me 3 hours later, back in 2017, and asked me if I still needed someone out at the shop, and this was a robbery. Recently, they said not to call 911, that wasn't an emergency. So I understand where he's coming from. I've got notes, we've got pictures. I'm from up north, and I went to Florida. I come back, it's worse. I moved here in 1998. This was so laid back and so good, and I don't even recognize Nashville anymore. It's worse than Miami. So I understand where they're coming from. How effective is this plan that you have with the homeless? Because these homeless, most of the homeless that are in that area are the same ones that I saw back in 2015, 2016. It's the same homeless people, and some are drunks, some are addicts, you know, and it'll get cleaned up for a day or two, and then they're back.
All
And
the
then-
homeless under the drugs, all of them.
And then now we have
All of
drug
them.
dealers.
It's
They
not
park-
mental, it's under drugs.
They park, they open the bag, and everybody puts their hands out, and it's just it's like no kind of respect whatsoever. They're not even discreet about it, the dope dealers. It's bad. It's really bad. It's uncomfortable. And I'm from up north, and I've lived in South Florida, so I've lived in areas like that, you know, so, and for me not to feel comfortable, I'm just like, I'm so fed up, you know, and it's constant. It really is.
Is there actually a plan in place of dealing with this? Cause I mean, I've lived here since 2015 and it's always been an issue. I know the former councilman of District 16 set something up with the bridge by Brawley Parkway and just put a no trespassing sign up, and it was going good for a while, but the main focus has shifted downward towards the corner of Thompson Lane and around the Millwood area.
And basically, that's exactly what happens when you don't have housing solutions. It's just shifting. Homelessness is shifting. The other issue that you really, when you look at long-term homelessness, and the longer people are on the streets, the harder it is to address homelessness. So that's kind of where the current plan on housing the most vulnerable and the people that have been on the streets the longest, that's what that is. With that 400 plus people that we are trying to get off the streets as quickly as possible. And I mean, that's the first time we actually had some money for that. And can you help me on who's on?
Yeah, I believe he was next, then we'll go to this gentleman, and then there.
The mayor raised the property tax. I just been hit with $3,000 extra than last year. Why there is nothing from all these millions or the billions of dollars not to fix this problem? This is number one. Number two, why I should suffer from homeless? If I have my house, I can go out with a gun in anyone on top of my property. And if I have a business, the homeless could be a customer, could be not, could be this, could be that. One day I was in New York and I have one guy with, kind of like this. When I called the police officer, that is in New York, so he told me, do you know if he's in medication or not? Are you a doctor? It's not, we are not in here to haggle. We are in here to fix the issue. With all due respect, and something better than nothing. But your plan 2 years, let's say 1 year. In the meantime, in that year, what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell him, wait till 364 days, wait for 363 days. We need something at least temporary.
Me and him,
To
we
clean
helped
up
a
the
lot
mess.
in this area. My business, in his business, in here, exactly.
I
From
go.
drugs, homeless, and prostitution.
Couple weeks ago, it was shooting in Sunday. The employee called me and he said, we need to close. I can't take it anymore. Who? And then the customer, when they heard it, they don't come. We are losing sale. We are losing property value. We are losing employee. We are losing a lot of things day by day. So we need problem to be solved in short term, not a long term. Your plan, I know that when some non-profit organization donate and all, but this takes time. So I will appreciate if we have something for short period of time to at least eliminate lots of the crime.
Well, and that's one thing I'm hoping will come out of this meeting is that we're listening, we're hearing the problems, and part of this is going to be y'all working with Metro, with the police, with the government, and we can figure out what those fixes can be. What can we do until some